Hey everyone, so today I'm just doing a kind of a new kind of video, and it's really just looking at a few of my cars, my die cars, toy cars, and really just sharing my thoughts on some of the different brands and what are some of the things that they do pretty well, in my opinion. And I think every brand has obviously their unique selling points and do certain things better than others. So over here I have Hot Wheels, I have Tomica, and I have Matchbox. So I have 4 cars over here that are from Hot Wheels, and on the right hand side are the 4 cars from Matchbox, and then the 2 cars in the middle are from Tomica. So in terms of the level of the casting, the Matchbox are all from the main lines. They're pretty recent. I think it's either 2024 or 2025. I can look at the bottom to find out, but just based off my memory. And the Hot Wheels, I have these 3 castings that are from the main line, and this casting the Lancia from the Silver Series. Okay, so it's still relatively affordable, and I have 2 Tomica main lines. So essentially these are like if you want to die-cast cars, these are the lowest level in terms of the budget, the cost that you can get, right? So these are like the most affordable, but yet you can see that they actually present quite a bit of selling points and a really very nice toys or even display models, if you will. So I think let's just start with the Hot Wheels. Now Hot Wheels obviously are really the quintessential, the king of diecast, right? It's if you just go out into a departmental store, Hot Wheels are really the cars that you see all around. They're basically sold everywhere, right? In departmental stores and even grocery stores, 7-Elevens, you see them absolutely everywhere. And I think that the appeal for Hot Wheels is really the interesting castings that they have, right? It's really the how out there their designs are. Even though obviously they have their fantasy castings, and I know that Matchbox as well has their fantasy castings, but mostly they're like the utility vehicles. But for Hot Wheels, their fantasy castings are extremely out there, and their realistic licensed vehicles they have very interesting liveries. For example, let's just look at this Alfa Romeo. So this is the Alfa Romeo GTV 6 3.0, and you can see just the racing livery that it has, right? Which is just really awesome and really attention grabbing to kids especially, and of course also to adults that are into racing, or even if someone has no interest in racing at all. When they just look at something like this, the livery is just it stirs up emotions in someone. And just look at the cuts in the casting, the different textures, right? The wheels are very nice. They have different types of wheels, right, as you can see, for Hot Wheels. Okay, and yeah, so just look at this casting. It's really awesome. Now, one thing about Hot Wheels is that sometimes, because it does the racing liveries on the sides or on the hood, for example for this one, on the hood, on the back, it sometimes will sacrifice the front and back tempos, which I think is a bit of a shame. So for example, for this particular casting, which is the okay, it's not stated over here, but it's the Nissan GTR. So the Nissan GTR, you can see that because Hot Wheels spends so much in terms of the tempos on the sides, it does not have the tempo work at the headlights and the tail lights. Now for this particular example, it actually does have the tail lights, which is why this particular casting is actually one of my favorites, because the tail lights is really awesome. Right, so you can see that the details are actually extremely well done for this particular casting in terms of the tail lights. So this is not really a good example, but you know what I mean. Hot Wheels really has a lot of castings where they skip on the front and tail lights, which is a bit of a shame. So I think that's really the major drawback for Hot Wheels, is that they miss out on some of these details that I think the more detail-oriented hobbies, they might uh, find to be a little bit of a shame. But overall, Hot Wheels, with the very exciting and interesting castings that they have, really captures the imaginations of many. And that is why Hot Wheels has really become the king of diecast. When you talk about diecasts, obviously people think of Hot Wheels immediately. Now this is the Porsche 911 Rally. Now you can see that the details are extremely well done over here, with the racing stripes, with the headlights, with the logo. Everything is extremely well done over here. And looking at the casting in terms of the livery, amazing. And as well as the roof rack, right? It's a plastic piece, but it's really well detailed. In terms of the back, again, as you can see, right? No tail lights at the back. So all of these Hot Wheels, they're missing the tail lights, right? So for this Porsche 911, the main line is missing the tail lights. The Alfa Romeo is missing the tail lights as well. So if you look at it from the back, it looks very bad. The Nissan GTR as well is missing the headlights. Okay, but they all have very nice livery at the sides. So that's where Hot Wheels really stands out. So for the Silver Series, for Hot Wheels, it's a small step up from the main line. In terms of the cost, it's just a little bit more expensive. And what the Silver Series has is full tempos. So the front and back lights, the front headlamps and the back tail lights are painted on. So you get a full tempo treatment, right? So the Lancia Racing, you can see the tail lights, you can see very nice grille details at the back. You can see full racing livery all the way, including the headlights as well. Now, if you go beyond the main line for Hot Wheels, sometimes you will see that the tempo work is a little bit sloppy, right? It has a dotted or rainbow kind of pixelated texture to it. That's I think more prevalent in the Hot Wheels Premium. So you can see that the tempo work is very unclear and worse than the main line, which is, to me, I feel like it's a bit disappointing, right? Because you're going up in terms of the price point, but you're getting cheaper or worse looking tempo work. So I think for this particular one, it's not too bad. You can see that the headlights is a little bit pixelated, but it's really not too bad for this particular example. Maybe the Lancia logo is a bit of a mess, but I think other than that, the headlights looks fine. And other than the front, I think the rest is the actual tempo, and it looks very amazing. For this particular Silver Series, it comes with a metal base as well. So, but I know that the other cars in this particular series does not come with a metal base. So this is the only casting. The Lancia is the only casting that comes with a metal body and a metal base. But there's a nice upgrade, and it makes it feel much more hefty and much more premium compared to the main lines. Now, so I think that's for Hot Wheels. And again, if you are talking about just toys, we're just talking about display models, Hot Wheels is really just perfect, right? In terms of just what they offer, the liveries, they're not gonna be 360 liveries, but in terms of, I think, pop culture, they really are the king of diecast. Now let's move on to their competitor, which is Matchbox. Now Matchbox, they occupy a very special spot in that they rarely do cars with racing liveries. Now the liveries tend to be very clean in terms of the four cars that you see here, the Lexus, the Ford Bronco, the BMW, as well as the Jeep. They are just cars that you would see on the road, right? And that's really amazing. I know that there are a lot of collectors that are into this sort of cars, and I myself, I'm really into these street cars as well, because it's really like a shrunken down version of a car that you would see on the road, right? So let's look at the Lexus first. So just look at the amount of detail that Matchbox actually puts into the casting, right? The grill, it actually has the texture, and look at the tempo work that goes into the Matchbox casting. It's just amazing. It really looks like the real car. Nice wheels as well, nice color. The interior details are fine. I think that it's very similar to that of Hot Wheels. But for Matchbox, they will often do full tempos as in the front and back. So it actually looks like an actual car that you see on the street. Right, as you can see here, this Lexus just looks like a car that you would see just dragging around. Right, so for many collectors that are into the details, that are into realism, Matchbox is really the brand to go for, right? And of course you can spice it up with a bit of Hot Wheels once in a while, right? So Matchbox has really captured my heart after I've really looked at some of the castings and how realistic it looks. And if you're into dioramas, I think Matchbox is really the brand to go for. Let's look at a few other Matchbox castings. Now this is the BMW 1M. Just look at the details, right? The grille, the headlights, the license plate, the logos. Just amazing casting. And look at the back as well. Just awesome, right? The tempo work is really unbeatable for the price point for Matchbox. The pricing for Matchbox is obviously the same as Hot Wheels for the main lines now. But what you get is really the realism. Let's move on to this, which is the Jeep Wagoneer. Now this one, as you can see, again the grille texture is cast into the casting, right? And as you can see over here, just look how awesome and how realistic this looks. This Jeep Wagoneer, and it's a sizable casting. It's really chunky, right? With the tan interior and the two sky roofs. Now it's just an amazing shrunken down real life car. Look at the back details as well with the tail lights. Just an awesome casting. This is really one of my favorites, and the wheels are realistic as well. Alright, so really I think Matchbox, I really like Matchbox. And lastly, for Matchbox, over here I also have the 1970 Ford Bronco. Now this is a simple casting, but the tempo work in front, look at that. Just awesome. Really nice. And the back as well. Super detailed, just super clean, super realistic. If I were alive in 1970, this would be a car that I would see. Right, so that is really awesome. Now the last brand, and obviously a brand that I think is the predominant brand that you would see in Asia, would be Tomica. Now Tomica, they do mainly Japanese cars. Now they also do have obviously the European cars, and as you can see here, this is a Mercedes. Now what differentiates Tomica, now besides the price point, right? Obviously the Tomica mainline is slightly more expensive compared to a Hot Wheels or a Matchbox mainline, just slightly more expensive. And they come with suspension. So okay, now this one doesn't come with suspension, but this one does, and most of their castings actually come with suspension. So that's the good thing. And some of them also have opening parts. So if you look at this, this Nissan Leaf, now it comes with a opening trunk. And just get that to open. It comes with an opening part, which is really nice to have, even though the opening is very exaggerated over here. But it's really a nice to have feature, right? It adds more play value to the experience if you are a kid. So this Tomica, some of them are opening parts, most of them have suspension, but the bad thing is that their wheels are generic, right? So all of the wheels look like this. As you can see, the two Tomica examples that I have, they have the same wheels, which is a bit of a shame as compared to Hot Wheels and Matchbox that have really invested in their wheels and have different wheels. So for Tomica, let's just take a look at this Nissan Leaf. Now the details are again also super amazing. Now Matchbox and Hot Wheels, they rarely have inserted details, but Tomica has more inserted details, I would say. As you can see here, the Nissan Leaf has inserted headlights, there's a translucent piece of plastic as well for the grille in front of the Nissan, and it just gives it an extra level of detail that I really like. Inserted details. I know that Hot Wheels and Matchbox sometimes will have it, but it's really seldom. So that's what I really like about Tomica. So it really justifies that slightly higher price, is that the premium inserted details. And you can see that the back details as well, it's very clear. Okay, very nicely made, and the text is extremely small over here. Let me see if I can just zoom in. Let me just try to zoom in on the text. The zero emission text is extremely tiny, but they make it super clear. The Nissan as well. So that is extremely amazing. And the level of detail that Tomica can do is just really awesome, right? You can really see the difference. And for this one, the Mercedes, Tomica has really done a really good job as well with the inserted details. Look at this giant piece of plastic that is in the grille. Just awesome, and very nice silver lining in front of the grills, in the windows. Just extremely cool. And the Tomica castings have more weight as well compared to the Matchbox and Hot Wheels mainline, so it feels a touch more premium, even though the bases are plastic as well. So I think the metal just has a little bit more weight, and that's for Tomica. So overall, I would say these three brands are really what makes up the bulk of my collection. I have a few majorette castings as well, which I think are a little bit more similar to Tomica as compared to Matchbox or Hot Wheels, in that they have inserted details, they have suspension, so it's a little bit more similar to Tomica. But these three brands are really awesome brands. If you're into realism, go for Tomica or Matchbox, because they really do very clean cars that you would see on the road. If you like inserted details, do go for majorette or Tomica. If you like just tempos, you think the tempos look more realistic, go for Matchbox. If you like just very interesting cars, you like racing, go for Hot Wheels. Right, so thanks for watching, and let me know what you guys think in the comments, and I'll see you in the next one.